Welcome to Fantasy Fitness 2016. You're going to receive 4 different items that you're going to need to use throughout the competition. The first item is a document of the rules and procedures. Much of this was already described to you in the original email inviting you to join Fantasy Fitness, but there have been a few changes and a few additions. The intent is still the same. It's to encourage an active lifestyle with friendly competition. The competition will consist of participants tracking total calories burned each day as recorded on a wearable fitness tracker or a mobile app or a website. And then it describes the 3 different methods you can use. Number 1, wear a fitness tracker like a Fitbit, Misfit, or Apple Watch, or any other wearable tracker. That's going to be the most common way to track your calories. Although it's recommended, it's not necessary to have a fitness tracker in order to be in this competition. So I will go into how to track your calories using just the app or just the website. Teams were made using the basal metabolic rates that each participant submitted. There are 46 of you participating, so I made 8 teams of 5 players and 1 team of 6 players. But all the teams have a total BMR within about 5% of each other, even the team with more players. I also attempted to place participants on teams with at least one other person from their same building, as well as people from another building. Teams will go head-to-head against another team each week, and total team calories burned will be used to determine the winner that week, just like last year, if you participated last year. Competition week will begin on Saturday and end on Friday. Participants will enter total calories burned for the previous day with evidence and may submit entries for that week anytime before the weekly deadline, which will be Saturday night, about 10 p.m. So you don't have to get all your data entered by Friday night like you did last year. Participants who do not enter their calories burned by the deadline will not score a 0. Instead, I'm going to award you your BMR anyway. So if there are players who stop participating or don't get to it by the deadline, I will still give you the BMR that you submitted. And I will go over how to do that in a moment. For the schedule, because there are 9 teams, the weekly matches will begin this Saturday. There will be 9 weeks of competition, but one team will have a bye each week. When we get to Thanksgiving, we will have 8 of the 9 weeks finished of the regular competition, but I thought I'd do something interesting for that Thanksgiving week. So that will be our all-star break. What's going to happen is the top 2 calorie burners from the first 4 teams will go up against the top 2 calorie burners from the next 4 teams. Since we have an odd number of teams, I'm going to divide up the top 2 from team 9. And so that will be a 9-on-9 competition for that week, and those points won't count towards your regular competition, but there will be other prizes for the winning participants that week. So you can still cheer on your team even though you may not be participating in that competition just for that week. And if someone's going away on vacation, they're not going to be able to work out. Substitutions are allowed. So then after Thanksgiving week, we come back for one final week of regular play. That'll be week 9, and at the end of that week, the champion team will be crowned. But wait, there's more, because we'll still have 2 weeks left until winter break. I want to do one more challenge that includes everyone. So after taking the weekend off, there will be a final challenge to determine which of our 5 buildings can earn the highest average calorie burn over 12 days. It's actually a pretty even number of participants from each building, except the DOs has some fewer than the schools, but each school has, I think, 10 or 11 participants. So therefore, it's going to be the average calorie burn over that 12 days. For the prizes, each participant will contribute $5 to the grand prize pot. This will be divided up among the members of the winning team after week 9 of regular competition. The overall winning team will be determined by the number of wins at the end of the season. In the event of a tie, the team with the most total calories among those with the most wins will be the champion. So if 2 teams have 7 wins, Okay, then whichever of those teams has the highest total calories for the whole season will be the champion. And the district is going to provide some additional prizes to be awarded to participants in the All-Star Break and the Building Challenge, and maybe for some other activities along the way as well. Please submit your $5 contribution to the following building rep. In the DO, Yolanda will collect your $5. At Spalding, Jamie Vincent will collect it. At Prairie Trail, Stacy Gritz will collect it. At River Trail, it'll be Lauren Weir, and I will collect it at Viking. All right, on to how you submit your calories and your evidence. Okay, so next, you are going to get a reference document that's called Fantasy Fitness All Teams. Here's what that looks like. Okay, tab 1 lists all the teams and who's on that team. So you can find yourself in that document. And then on the bottom, there's a second tab. The next tab will be the schedule. Which teams are going against which teams when, during which weeks, and which team has a bye during which weeks. So after 8 weeks, we have the All-Star Break, and then week 9 to crown the champion, and then the Building Challenge at the end, if we're still up for it. And the last tab in this document will include the results for each team each week. Okay, so this will be a document you can't edit, but I will be updating this after each week. Okay, then you will have your team document. So if you are on team 1, this is the document that you will enter your data on. So down at the bottom, you have your different weeks of the challenge. In the first column, you have the day. Okay, so on Sunday, you will go into this document and you will enter your total calories burned for Saturday. Type your name first. Okay, and then your calories burned for that day. And the whole team will be able to work on this document at the same time. Okay, and as you can see, those numbers will add up at the top while you're working. Okay, now for your evidence. Okay, most of you will probably be working on this from your phone or maybe from your iPad. So let's take a look. If you were going to be working on it on your phone, you can do the same thing I just did on the computer. You're going to need Google Sheets, and you will get that document. And I should be able to see the same document on my phone. There it is. You can see the information I just entered, so you can do this right from here. Okay, then over to calories. Hit the check. Okay, and then I can see that updates as well. Hit the check. And go back to Drive. Okay, and then in order to submit your evidence, okay, let's say you are using Fitbit, which I think is the most common way to track calories in this competition. Go into the Fitbit app. Okay, and then I'm not going to be submitting today's, I'm going to be submitting the previous days. Okay, so you're going to take a screenshot. Hold on the iPhone, you hold down both buttons at the same time, takes a screenshot. That goes into my photos. I'm going to need to use the Drive app, the Google Drive app. I'm going to go into a folder called Team 1, if I'm on Team 1. I'm going to go into Week 1. I'm going to hit the plus. I'm going to upload that photo from Photos and Videos. The most recent photo is right there. I'm going to upload it. Okay, it's going to end up in that folder. It's in the Week 1 folder of Team 1. Okay, and so by the end of that week, there should be 35 photos if you're on a team of 5. Okay, you just need to make sure that it has total calories. Okay, let's say you're using a different app. Let's say you're using an Apple Watch. And you're using then the activity tracker. Okay, I don't have an Apple Watch, but did use one. So let's go back to a day that I was wearing an Apple Watch. I want to make sure I can see the total calories. So here I'm going to find, so I'm going to have to swipe here to the left, and then I see total calories for that day. So when that is visible, then I would take that screenshot. Okay, and once again, I'm going to find my Drive app. I'm going to find my team folder, and each of you is only going to have one of these folders, whichever team you're on. Plus, upload from my photos. And then that's going to go in that folder. And that's all you need to do for submitting your evidence. So once you pull that up, then you can go back to Google Sheets, and you can get to this document in the Google Drive app or in Google Sheets app. Okay, so Sheets, this looks like that. Okay, and if you go into it using Drive and you don't have Sheets on your device, it might prompt you to download Sheets, because that's when it's going to open. Okay, so let's say you don't have an activity tracker. You're still going to need to use an app that tracks your BMR, such as Fitbit. Does a great job of it, even if you don't have a device. So let's see, I'm going to go back. If I go way back from before I got my Fitbit, which was over the summer. Okay, there we go. I didn't own a Fitbit at this time, but it was still tracking my BMR. Okay, so I'm on July 4th. So I'm going to track exercise. I'm going to hit the stopwatch in the upper right corner. And I'm not going to be tracking exercise, but I'm going to be logging exercise. So let's say I ran, and it was not today, it was July 4th. It was at 4:05 p.m. and it was for 30 minutes, and it was 2.5 miles. And as you can see on the bottom, it is telling me how many calories that probably burned. Okay, and then it's also adding it to the total calories for the day. Okay, so here's the impact on my day. It's adding 366 calories to my day. So now I go back and back. Okay, so it added those calories. And then I would screenshot this and upload that to the folder and record it on my team's spreadsheet. Please email me with any questions.